Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me. With this is so conflicting because we're going to talk about Aaron, who's on Love Island UK, but he was previously on Love Island Australia. And the person who he was initially partnered up with was Courtney, and Courtney had some things to say about Aaron being on the UK version. She does get emotional, and it's a little bit painful to watch. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, we are going to talk about it. As always, please make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. Okay, so full transparency, if you watched my reviews for Love Island Australia, you would know I was not the biggest fan of Courtney. For me, for some reason, I just haven't been able to vibe with Courtney this entire season. Even Aaron had a turnaround for me. You know what I mean? That's saying a lot. But for Courtney, I just couldn't latch on to her personality, and that's okay. We just don't vibe. But for me, I felt like she's kind of been entitled throughout this process. So it was nice to see her actually acknowledge that she was in the wrong for something. And yeah, it's unfortunate. It's too little too late because Noah's still keen on just exploring things with Jade. But hey, you win some, you lose some. I'm sorry, Courtney. Maybe you should have come to a realization of your feelings earlier. But then I also think to myself, if the girls didn't come in, would she even be at this crossroad? And I don't think she would. Now, as I'm hearing her tell her story, it kind of makes sense why she was acting the way that she was. I felt like there was some kind of chip she had on her shoulder. And if what she's saying about Aaron is the truth, and I say that only because there is his truth, her truth, and the truth, that's just how stories go. This is, however, her truth, so we're going to take it as it is, as it's being said. Yeah, it's a very painful experience that she went through. So I will be talking and also inserting different clips from her story that she posted a few hours ago, but you'll be getting this the next day. So Courtney details that she and Aaron were coupled up first in the villa, and immediately he started to belittle her, to talk down on her looks, on her physique, on the way that she maintains her aesthetics, like skincare, weight, all that kind of stuff. And it really started to chip at her self-esteem.
On the first morning of the show, he told me in the morning he didn't want to pursue things with me further because I coupled up with him on the first day. And he said, and I remember to this day because it stuck with me, he said to me, I like clean girls that, take care of their skin and like skincare, and, you're really not into that stuff. So he was referring to my acne. I had really bad acne at this point because I had just started my Roaccutane journey and my skin was purging. So I literally had cystic acne on my face, which I obviously already felt so insecure about going on TV with my skin like that. So to have someone to point that out to you, I'm like, oh, great. Guys are going to notice this the whole show. And then he goes, oh, and like, I obviously like when girls take care of their bodies and they go to the gym and like stuff like that. So when I went onto the show, I also was 10 kilos heavier than I've ever been. I think it only been like a year or so since I got off the pills, so it was really hard for me to like lose weight. So I was going on the show not feeling confident in my skin, not feeling confident in my body, and then he literally just straight out the first morning of the villa shamed me for my skin and shamed me for my body.
As I was watching this season, I did feel like there was something about Courtney that was so off. I felt like there was this like need to seek for validation just a little bit. And then also there was a sense of entitlement near the end of the season. And now hearing the fact that the person who she was in close proximity with day in and day out would constantly chip at her self-esteem, I could understand how her personality was translating on camera, which is unfortunate. As she says that this was a daily occurrence between her and Aaron, and if Love Island is supposed to be a place where, there are producers, there's a wellness team and all that stuff who check in on you to make sure that you're okay, they definitely failed at their job. She also details that as new people were coming in, she didn't get the opportunity to adequately bond with them or to have a proper chance of pursuing them, because Aaron would always intercept them approaching her and would just talk down on her, say she's a horrible person, or just say all these negative things that would divert those men from pursuing her.
And then he's continued to the whole rest of the show, because we were both in it till like the end. Whenever I'd speak, he'd tell me to shut up. Whenever I would say something he didn't agree with, which wasn't even necessarily like, I wasn't even being mean, I was just like having an opinion about something. Or we'd be playing like the truth bike and I'd ask a question, like I asked Mitch and Tina, oh, like, are you guys falling in love or anything like that? And then he would just be like, oh, fuck off, Courtney. Like, this is stuff he'd say to me the whole show and just like put me down. Obviously, our journey's in there about finding someone, and Aaron, the whole show basically told every guy not to go for me. It was one of the reasons why a guy actually didn't choose me, because Aaron was just in his ear about me the whole time. It came to the point where Noah and I were together at the end, and another girl came in, and Aaron was the first one in his ear telling him not to go for me, and that's why Noah found it so hard to like decide to come back to me, because Aaron was just telling him how much of a shit person I was and how like wasn't treating him well. When again, you guys didn't see the edits of how much I was into Noah. I was into Noah more than Noah was even into me, like, but it didn't air that way, which was so shit.
It's got to be a tough thing to deal with, being that she really did have a rough time. Like, truly, regardless of how I felt about the girl, because let's remember, this is an edited television show. I am a consumer just like y'all. If y'all are annoyed by somebody, I'm likely annoyed by them too, you know? So I don't want to make it seem like what we perceived was reality. It is a reality TV show, which is made for entertainment. They're supposed to skew certain narratives a certain way. So I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron did have a side that wasn't broadcast on television, because there's only an hour, you can only put so much, you know what I mean? So yeah, I did get the impression that Aaron was immature, was kind of like an a-hole, to be completely honest with you. So I'm not surprised that this is how things went for Courtney in the villa. There was a clear fixation with blonde hair and blue eyes. I even mentioned it two videos ago when I said, oh, Aaron coming in, I know the blonde thing is going to be a thing, because it really was like a highlight of his time on the show. And so she said, immediately knowing that was his affinity, she felt like, well, like, what's the point in me being in the situation knowing that you'll never be attracted to me?
I literally bawled my eyes out for like the whole first morning. And like, he also said to me, like, oh, well, my type's blonde hair and blue eyes. And obviously after these first two things he said to me, I already was sitting there feeling so crap about myself. And then I'm like, oh, great. And because I don't have blonde hair and blue eyes, like, I'm also not good enough.
Like I said, it's sad to see her having to relive this experience. It's kind of the similar thing that happened last year when Adam Collard was brought on the show. Women who were on the receiving end of some of Adam's actions on the show were unimpressed, or even people who had watched the way that Adam had moved on the show were very unimpressed to see him. So to see Aaron on the show must be gut-wrenching for Courtney. And I do empathize. I think empathize is a better word than sympathize. Yeah, I do empathize with the girl. I think that they should have done a better check on whether or not Aaron would be a good fit for the show. I do think that he understands the UK public is a lot more fierce than probably the Australian public is, just because of how large of a reach Love Island UK has. So I do see him playing a safer game than he did on Love Island Australia. But I wonder if Love Island is going to do anything, considering Courtney's I want to say confession, but I don't think that's right, considering like Courtney divulging her experience with Aaron. And I hope that the women in this current villa do not experience what she went through, because obviously you wouldn't wish that on anybody. Y'all let me know what your thoughts are on Kourtney's situation. If you can reach out some love to her, go ahead and do that. If you're a hater, keep your words to yourself. Okay. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.